Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Daz Reacts, and today I am reacting to some more Bill Burr, and today he's telling us the reasons why 5-year-olds have no excuse to be fat. And a big shout out to Comedy Shack for letting me react to this. I hope you enjoy it. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I will be uploading daily and and if there's anything that you want me to react to, leave it in the comments down below and I'll get round to it. Let's get into this.
How you doing?
I'm alright.
Was this too quick a transition? You know what I mean? Like 9, 10 black dudes in a row and then like the whitest man on the planet. Let your eyes adjust. I was watching George Bush today, man. I don't want to be a dick or anything, but could that guy like rehearse before he gives a speech? You know what I mean? Just say it like a couple of times. How awful was he during that hurricane? He's just walking out, man. He's just like winging it. Walking out on the White House lawn, there's like sun in his eyes. He's just out there like, there was a hurricane. People are wet. People don't like being wet unless they're swimming in a pool. He sounded like a little kid giving a book report who like didn't read the book. He's just up there making up shit like, there was a dog and he bit somebody and they didn't like it. Every night I gotta watch that idiot on the news, or they're doing stories about how fat kids are getting. You see that every night? Every night they're talking about kids are obese now. Not fat kids, not chubby, they're obese.
Do you know what? That's a big thing. I know it's in the UK we say a lot about Americans that like obesity is big in America because like for us people that from the UK that have been to America, like we'll talk to them and they'll be like, oh, if you go to McDonald's they give like and you order a Big Mac you get this big ass burger and there's like 7 layers of meat and things like that, and then you'll come here and you'll get a Big Mac and it's like that. And I don't know if it's the same there, but here like if you order McDonald's you'll eat McDonald's and instantly after you're still hungry. That's the thing. But yeah, with obesity has become a big thing in this country, but it's more than, and I think it's the same worldwide. It's big. It's a lot to do with technology. Kids don't like in the UK now. You don't see kids going out and playing football. Like when I was a kid, I used to go out and play football, climb trees, climb scaffoldings, and things like that. Kids, all they want to do now is sit at home and play computer. And like, I'm not gonna lie, it come to a point that like I used to do all them things as a kid, and then I got the PlayStation, and that was it. That like vitamin D deficiency, and because all I wanted to do was play PlayStation, and it's just worse now for kids. You've got like game consoles, you've got social media, you've got YouTube. There's so many things that distract kids and make kids not want to go out. And the other thing is obviously the violence. There's so much violence out there now that parents don't want their kids to go out.
Like bedridden.
Sorry, let me go back a bit. I do apologise. I have this tendency to pause and I start talking and I ramble, and you're probably just sitting there thinking, yeah, can you just shut the hell up and put Bill back on? Like, I do apologise.
See that every night? Every night they're talking about kids are obese now. Not fat kids, not chubby, they're obese. Like bedridden. like just laying there like, I had my first heart attack when I was 4. I was riding on my big wheel, I couldn't feel my left side, I began to pass out my head. Yo, I don't want to be a dick, but how do you get that fat that quick? I can see you're 30, 40 years old. You went to McDonald's for 20 years. You got a little gut going. But you're 5 years old. There's no excuse for that shit. I'm telling you, man, that's the parents' fault.
True.
You know, stop feeding them.
True. Do you know what? I've recently, and again, I do apologise for pausing this. A couple of months ago, we went to Malta, which is in Europe, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I was in the swimming pool, and there was this boy, and he must have been about probably like 7 or 8 years old, and his boobs, like, they were proper formed boobs, like man boobs and things like that, and he was just so big, and like you look at it and you don't want to make fun of him because he's a kid. That like even if he says like I'm hungry, I want this, I want this, I want this, it's down to the parents to then turn around and say like, listen, you're gonna get bigger and bigger, you're gonna get fat and things like that. That my daughter can eat like a pig And that's the thing, that she could have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and she'll still say, Dad, what am I going to eat before bed? I'm so hungry. She acts as if like she needs her own comic relief advert. But the girl eats so much, and like I always try to give her the healthiest choices and things like that. But they're kids that, like, when I was a kid, that I didn't give a crap. That like I'd go to the shop, and like back then things were a lot fucking cheaper. Like, I'd go to the shop and like I'd get chocolate, I'd get crisp, I'd get like 4 cans of Dr Pepper, and like I'd go back and sit in front of the telly, and I'd sit there and eat all of them in one go. And like my parents didn't say shit to me. My parents didn't say like, oh, you're gonna make yourself fat, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. And again, I keep looking at that camera, and I'm sorry, I need to look at this one. And they're not gonna say to me like, oh, you're gonna get fat or whatever. They didn't care. They did care, but they just weren't that attentive. Whereas with me, like, I don't want my daughter to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. She gets enough what she needs. She gets enough snacks, and like, I blame the grandparents.
He doesn't have any money. You know, seriously. He can't go get a job so he can go buy more food. He's got to eat whatever you give him. Just put a plate of seaweed right in front of him. Go ahead, eat it. I don't want to eat it. Good, go to bed. Those are your options. I own you until you're 18. Do some jumping jacks. No, but these parents are ridiculous. They act like they have no control. They're like, well, I don't know what to do. I mean, I tried to make him eat a salad, but he didn't want to eat it. He was like, no, I want a cupcake. I said, you can't have it. But then he sat on my chest, and I couldn't breathe, and I just wanted to get up after a while. People, you need tough love at that moment. If your kid is obese and he's still asking for cake, you gotta be like, no, you little shit. You're eating carrots and celery until I can pick you up again. This is ridiculous. You got a goddamn hernia on your birthday. Look, I know that seems harsh to be making fun of obese kids. I'll tell you why I'm doing it. They don't really exist. At least to the level that they're saying it's an epidemic. You know, which means when I leave the theater tonight, I should have, like, difficulty getting to my car because of all these fat fucking kids out there like, Jesus Christ, they're everywhere. They're like locusts.
He is funny. I do like him, and I watched a couple of his now, and I really do like his style of comedy. And I like people that tell it how it is. That's the thing, that like, it is the case that obesity is becoming a big thing, and not just with kids nowadays. Like, kids are becoming obese, teenagers are becoming obese, but also like adults, like a lot more obesity in adults. And even me, that like I've got, like, I'm breathing in now because I don't want to shut off fully, but I've got a belly on me, and like I'm blaming marriage for that belly, because before that I used to cycle like 12-15 miles a day to get to and from work and things like that, and I was healthy. And then I met my wife, and she wanted me to learn how to drive, and so now I don't even walk to the shop if I don't have to. I'll get in the car and go. So that I've become lazy. That's the thing, that like, and I have put on the pans that like marriage and parenthood and things like that, it doesn't leave a lot of time for other things. But yeah, I do like Bill Burr, and I like what he says. I like his honest style of comedy, and like, some people think that like he's below the belt or whatever, the way he talks about women, and like even down to obesity and that. But Sodom, what can you do? Listen, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I will be uploading daily, and if there's anything you want me to react to, just let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next one.